Have you ever wanted to step into a new version of yourself that felt almost like a distant memory, like something that you could perceive, but you don't know how to get there? That there's just something missing from your approach and from just keeping you from being able to step into that aspect of yourself. Like there's almost like a block. Like there's certain obstacles that you have to pass in order to get to that phase of your life, to where you can really step in and be who you came here to be. Because in order for us to be able to do that, requires for us to step into ourselves and unlock these consciousness codes that'll act as keys to open the door to a new version of you. My name is Cody, and I help people to unlock those consciousness codes that'll set your heart ablaze and open the doorway to unlimited possibilities. So the thing that we are all trying to figure out is, how do we live our best life? How do we live the most fulfilling life, the most loving and compassionate life that we can? How do we really step in to become that version of ourselves that we know that we came here to be? There's a few things that truly help us in order to step in, because there's so many things in this life that lead us astray from who we truly are. There's so many distractions. There's so much stimulation. It's so difficult for us to truly grasp who we are in this vast, expansive, and crazy world. And in order for us to truly understand and piece those things together, to piece the aspects of ourselves back together, we have to know the right directions to take. We have to understand how to navigate that path back to ourselves. Because there are an infinite number of paths that can be taken, but it doesn't mean that every path is the right one for you. And it also doesn't mean that there's only one path that you can take, because there's so many paths that can be taken to get you to the same place. Some may take longer. Some you may meet somebody else, certain types of people if you take a certain direction in life, or you may reconnect, or you may connect with them later on in life. But it just depends on the decisions that you make in the present moment, in the here and now. Those decisions will ultimately dictate who you become and the life that you go on to live. So how do we unlock these consciousness codes and obtain these consciousness keys in order to step in to that aspect of ourselves? One of the things that has really helped me to tap in and to unlock the consciousness codes within myself is to understand our 12 soul fragments. While we come from an infinite source of energy, and it's not just bound to one particular form, there are certain beings throughout history that I believe that we have been more connected to than other beings, which helps to make up the personality that we have and to give us this broad range of perspective and understanding and beingness that makes up who we are. So, there may be a lot of people who identify with, the Buddha or Krishna or Jesus. Some of these are the main figures that we may identify with or connect to. Once you begin to truly understand these soul fragments of yourself, you will understand why there are certain aspects of yourself that are more prominent than others, or why you're drawn to certain things, or certain names, or certain perspectives, because you have carried that with you in a past life, and that energy carries on into your vessel now. But we're not bound, generally speaking, to one particular form. I do believe that we can reincarnate potentially as a singular consciousness from a previous lifetime, but from my understanding, is that it normally doesn't work that way, because we're such vast creatures of consciousness that we require a lot more than just one body or one form. And even those 12 are just scratching the surface, because there are other energies that make up who we are. That's just the main parts, which will help you to understand who you are. And the way that I have learned how to determine this is through the use of a pendulum, which I actually use this chain here. So if you ask it a question, it'll respond based off of your magnetic frequency. So if you use a chain, you can ask it a yes or no question, and it'll respond. Normally for me, it goes in a circle if it's yes, it'll go back and forth if it's no. So that's just one thing that you can use. Another aspect, another thing that we can use in order to unlock our consciousness codes is to take a pilgrimage. Because when we take a pilgrimage, it opens us up in a way that our soul, it's like a place of power that when you go to, it automatically reconnects you with the past version of yourself that will activate those codes, that will spark something within you. I've even heard of people having, like, they step into a certain area or a certain location, and it's like they're transported back in a time when they were there in a previous lifetime. It's like their whole consciousness shifts into that moment. So, not only external pilgrimages, but also the pilgrimage that we must take internally. And to do that, especially, one of the biggest tools I've found is to do shadow work, which is to come face to face with our biggest fears and understand why we are the way that we are. So those are two tools that we can use. Another one that I like is to understand how to rebalance our energy of feminine and masculine, because we are both feminine and masculine, but to balance ourselves in a way that will bring us back to the center and the core of who we are. So sometimes we may need more feminine energy. We may need to tap more into our feminine energy. So we need to learn how to be more flowing, to surrender, to to connect deeper on an emotional level, to really tap in and connect with ourselves in a deeper way. Depth is what it's all about, truly. And then the divine masculine is about structure and logic and creating the container for which we can blossom into. So sometimes it requires us to tap more into one energy or the other in order to bring us back into balance within ourselves. And then I also want to talk about the mirror effect, which when we meet other people, they are simply reflections of who we are. Because everything in this reality is a holographic reality. So everything is essentially a projection of itself, is a reflection of itself more so than a projection. It reflects back to you. It's like the hall of mirrors. People and situations will reflect back to you aspects of yourself that you need to see in order for you to heal, in order for you to carry on throughout your journey. And once you start to begin to see this and stop resisting what people are showing you, then it helps you to activate those codes that will allow you to break out of old patterns and beliefs, to step into something new and powerful. And lastly, one of the things that will help is to find solutions within the problem, or rather the obstacle, we'll call it, to reframe, because it's not necessarily a problem, it's an obstacle that is meant for you to overcome, to find a solution And as Albert Einstein says, you cannot resolve a problem from the same level of consciousness that you created it. So if the problem was created down here and you're trying to find a solution down here, it's not going to work, because you're only going to see and be in that same type of energy. So you have to learn how to elevate, to be objective, and to take yourself out of the emotional state and beliefs that this problem right here has caused you. And then when you shift out of that, and you rise above it, you're able to see from an eagle's point of view new solutions and perspectives that you didn't see before. So that is everything, my friends. I will touch on these topics more so later on. I've been experimenting and exploring the depths of my soul in ways that I'm really excited to share, and to help you to tap into aspects of yourself that will help you live your best life. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love all of you, and I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me. Thank you. Much love. Namaste.